just like my wide receiver from the past, Greg Horton, to get up. I think he's going out for a pass.
We didn't have no plays. We said just you go in the huddle and say, "Duck," my nickname. Go long.
And by the way, we are live, and I want to introduce the superintendent of Terrebonne Parish, Philip Martin. And Philip, I don't want to steal your thunder. We got some important guests here today in Terrebonne Parish. I'll give you the floor for a little bit.
Yes, Martin, we do. Thank you for having us. I'd like to introduce the Terrebonne Parish School Board President, Mr. Gregory Harding.
Hello.
The Bessie President, the State's Education Board, Ms. Sandy Holloway, and our State Superintendent, Dr. Brumley. I want to thank all of them for being with us today, and Sandy and Cade come all the way from Baton Rouge to offer any assistance they can to our school system in this catastrophic damage that we've incurred. So we greatly appreciate that, and I know our community appreciates their interest in our community, and they have offered in any way they can help. They've extended that to us numerous times.
All right, and Dr. Brumley, and of course, Ms. Holloway, thank y'all so much for coming. And y'all been touring the schools. So Dr. Brumley, we'll start with you. What did you see, and how catastrophic is it for the school system?
Well, I'll start with what I saw that I think is really phenomenal, and that's just a resilient group of people, from Mr. Martin to his staff, to the coordination with other governmental agencies. Everyone is deeply committed to getting their children back as soon as they possibly can in a safe environment. Now, there's a lot of work ahead. There's no doubt about it, and we know that from our tours today that some schools were hit harder than others. But I'm optimistic about the team on the ground here, and I know that they care about our kids. And you know, I'm just leaving. I know it'll sound odd, but I'm leaving a little inspired, just because of the work that I know is taking place and will take place.
Philip will get it done if you give him the task. There's no doubt about it. Give him a little plug there. And Ms. Holloway, was it worse than you thought? Was it what you expected? We've been through a few hurricanes here, but I mean, your first impression, what was it?
It was worse than I thought. And I've been through several hurricanes and have been in the school system for many years. And this was heart-wrenching. You see it, and it just really grips your heart. But when you really walk the areas that Philip and the president of the school board escorted us through, and seeing the classrooms, which was part of me like so many years ago, and to see the devastation within, besides the outward, was unbelievable.
Right, and Philip, I'm gonna come to you, and I've interviewed you 1,000 times here in this same set, and I was teasing Philip the other day on the phone. I said, you announce your retirement, you're not going out quietly, okay? You're gonna have a lot to do with the magnitude of what you saw and what it's going to take to get kids back in the classroom and that type of thing. Can you explain that to the audience?
That is our number one task, getting kids back in school. And I wish I could tell you a time and date that will happen. All I can promise you is it will happen. There's a lot of work that has to be done. And it may not be school in the traditional sense that every kid's in the same school that they went to last year. We may have to get very creative in finding a space to have a classroom for every teacher and every child, but we will.
Now let me ask you, because behind you on the screen where people are looking and seeing is South Terrebonne High School, but obviously y'all toured a few schools. What's the worst hit school?
Well, you know, that's kind of a relative term.
Maybe all of them.
You know, when they're all devastated, you know, it's which one's devastated the most.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not all, by the way. I do want to say that many of our schools, if we had electricity, which is coming back up, we could have school in a day or two. South Terrebonne, no. Up at Localia, no. Ellender, no. We have many schools that have very significant damages, and there's no sugarcoating that we will have to get very, very creative and determined. And I've told Sandy and Cade, the people of Terrebonne Parish are really resilient, tough people, and we'll bounce back from this. It will take a lot of hard work, a lot of effort and frustration along the way, there's no question. But
logistically, I mean, you said South Terrebonne and Ellender both damaged. No, that would be a good trade-off where they could go together in the same area, but they can't. So it's gonna take a game plan to get platooning, I guess. It would be
We're
the
gonna
right
have to be very creative and imaginative and we'll do things we've never had to do before, thank goodness, that we've never had to do it before. But we have several ideas, and we're meeting with staff tomorrow to begin putting a little more definition to those concepts we have. But that there will be piggybacking, there will be sharing, there will be relocating, there will be perhaps some virtual thrown in a smidgen of. But at the end of the day, the goal is to have a teacher and students in a classroom. It may not be the traditional classroom, but in a building where school can take place.
And I want to get to Mr. Harding in a second. We'll do it on the second segment because we have a mandatory break in about 60 seconds. But the kids have been through COVID. They had a rough year and a half. Now they got this. I mean, like, when does it end, right? They have to be resilient.
It is a strain on our community, as you pointed, that on our kids, on our parents, our community. COVID has created its unique.
And teachers.
Well, and teachers,
Yeah.
certainly. And but we are an optimistic group, educators, and we will figure this out. I want everyone to know that it's not. We will have a solution. We will have kids in school. They will have a teacher standing in front of them. Every student in Terrebonne Parish School District. That's a promise.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We have the brass of the educational system here in Louisiana. We're going to try to get you as many answers as we can. We'll come back with another segment right after this break. Stick around. It's all next.